T1 versus G2. We didn't get them at Worlds this year, so we get them here in Munich instead. 2023, we saw G2 winning against T1 at Red Bull League of its own. 2024, we saw T1 get revenge. 2025, it's time for our decider.
Oh, we're already into it. Hans Sama.
Oh, it's absolute chaos on the rift, and Hans Sama's already down! First blood for FaZe, and in comes Doran to turn it into more. LeBron, 100 HP, gets under the tower, but flashed on! And FaZe with a double kill for 2 minutes in his first game with T1.
It's a disaster for Europe. What are we doing? We're only a couple seconds into the game and we're already 2-0 down. And it's FaZe, the new member of T1, who says, hello Europe, glad I'm here.
Of all of the champions to have a level 1 double kill on as well, Zeri, Carrier, baiting them in a little bit here as the rest of the gang stacking up in the brush, I believe, and Hans Sama. Oh, that's a mistake he's going to regret.
The flash double found as well from Carrier. Absolutely brilliant there. And Doran's just in a great position, coming over with the hook shot to set up for FaZe with one last auto to pick that one up.
Beautifully done by T1, catching out G2. But regardless of the double kill, FaZe won't actually be able to leverage very much in the early game. Has the Doran's blade, but also has his boots, so not actually getting much damage. And ultimately, it's still Caitlyn Karma. It's still one of the most impressive lanes you can play into.
Yeah, at least it's, you know, flashes and healed burnt on both supports, and it is the flash gun on FaZe. So for G2, still will be able to push in and try and go aggressive. I think you may need to look for some sort of dive, honestly, to try and get this lane back in your favor. And is definitely possible with the amount of poke and control you can have in this bottom side. Like, look at FaZe's health bar right now. Yeah. So I think that's where we'll see if Skewmon wants to try and go for something. But you can see where Owner is on the map. He is in a position to make his way down to this bottom side and cover for any sort of play.
His way down, as you say. Owner pretty confident on what Mundo's abilities do at this point. Faker, though, taking a trade with Caps. Remember, Faker's still got the egg. He's low on HP, but Caps only on 200 himself. If a jungler moves towards that mid lane, the passive could come into play, but FaZe chunked out again by Hans Sama and Lebrov.
Barrier used as well, which means FaZe is definitely not going to be particularly happy. Going to try and step up here, but G2 with the full clear. Owner trying to cover on this bottom side for his AD carry.
I'd be surprised if Owner moves into this bottom lane, but he's got the wraparound here. Actually, maybe an opportunity. Carrier goes forward. Lebrov dodges away from the sun and actually goes forward. He sets up for a kill. Hans Sama with the first one of the fight, and it's answered by FaZe.
FaZe still able to get that answer back, and honestly for Owner, using the fact that you have that quicker clear, kind of helping out here, because FaZe desperately needs this reset and the way to push in. But now Vi on the bottom side,
hang on. FaZe is down! Hans Sama finds the kill all by himself. Owner answers, but here comes Vi. Owner knocked into the wall, taken low, does not have his flash available, and he goes down. Skewmon with the answer.
Skewmon able to make it happen, getting that turnaround play and some much needed kills. Plus the nice guy that it is, freezing that wave for Hans Sama and Lebrov on the bottom side. G2 answering back.
Well, 7 kills in 4 minutes so far. This is definitely the kind of game we were hoping for between G2 and T1. LeBron moves to the mid lane. Let's try and make sure. Oh, hang on. Broken blade, low HP. Doran walking underneath the tower. But he's being burnt, actually. BB's going to turn it around. Doran gets the magic shield, but he's cut down. Broken blade with a solo kill.
This is what his Rumble can do. Broken blade with the solo kill on the top side. And may have been a little bit of a whoopsie from Doran, honestly, going underneath the turret. But still, LeBron fishing with Karma, seeing what he can pick up.
He's dodging away for a bit of the damage. As Carrier actually out of mana here. They do have to be a little cautious as Hans Sama dives forward once again. FaZe forced underneath the tower, dodges the Q though. As the route onto Carrier won't lead to too much. And honestly, T1 are doing a pretty good job of trading fairly evenly.
Yeah, it's just the CS that is really going to hurt. Like, there is a wave pushing into them so they can, you know, maybe get 3 or 4 more to answer back, but still about a wave behind when it comes to the CS. But I'm looking at Owner once more, moving down into this bottom side. He's been beating Skewmon to the punch and wants to see if he can do it again.
Owner does not want to let them get away with this on the magical journey as LeBron takes a tower shot as well. Hansama falls. Oh, he finds the Piltover Peacemaker! A double for Hans! Owner can't find his mark, knocked up, and he'll be taken down as a bonus on top. G2 taking it to T1.
G2 own the bottom lane here at Red Bull League of its own. It started off well for T1, but reminded them where we are.
We are here in the heart of Europe in Munich, and G2 know it. Hansama with the double. Look at the movement from this guy.
This was so well played by G2. We kind of talked about how you were already having the Mundo come down, but Hansama able to set up the plays, sidesteps it, gets the beautiful Piltover Peacemaker as he nets back. And G2 then with the cover again from Skewmon, making it happen.
Really nice using the EQ combo to make it that much harder to dodge the Piltover Peacemaker as well. Clean from Hansama, and Pays, despite those early kills, he's actually slightly behind in gold versus Hansama. It's a 450 gold lead on the Caitlyn right now. Caitlyn, not a champion you want to be behind, but here we go. Ona's still the third bot laner for T1 at this point as Hansama getting damage down. Skewmon dives into the action. Ona chasing onto the G2 bottom lane, and Pays has room to get these autos in, but Ona low on HP, and he's taken down again. Hansama still going! How are they getting away with this? And now Caps flies into the action and forces a flash out of Faker. The slow comes on down. Faker trying to escape with this one. Egg still available, but no teammates to follow up. In comes by Skewmon, taking him into the egg form, and it's going to be delicious yoke for G2.
Skewmon hits 6 off the experience from the kills, which sets up the follow-up play onto Faker. G2, 11 kills and a 3k gold lead 7 minutes into this game.
We have more than 2 kills per minute so far, but look at the movement from Hansama once again. As T1 desperately trying to chase them down, but it's so difficult.
Yeah, these Piltover Peacemakers are doing work, plus the traps, making it incredibly difficult. Skewmon comes back to kill Owner to help buy that space. LeBron flashing away despite the good stun coming through from Keria. And barely Hansama is able to set up the net over the wall, get the kill. But watch, Skewmon hits 6 there off that kill, which then means that they can chase down after this. And that's why the slow from Faker was nearly enough to keep Skewmon away, but just about gets in range for the cease and desist.
Beautifully done. And I don't know if you saw the pixel perfect dodge on the Ultra Shock Laser from Hansama. Doran down in this bottom side, catching a wave, but very low on HP. See, Hansama's already used his ultimate. I'm guessing that's how Doran got so low, but in they go. There's only so much you can do against an ultimatum. Cut into Hansama down, and Doran gets the gold. Ona now caught up in the river as Pays trying to support his jungler. G2 have started these grubs off, but I think they might have to retreat on this one. Still positioning aggressively, and Doran dives in onto LeBron as well. Doran is looking for a second in the bottom side, as in goes Caps in the mid lane. Faker down, Ona down, G2 with the grubs.
It's a 2 for 2 across the map, but it's G2 who'll be able to get the grubs. LeBron sticking around that little bit too long on the bottom side, and Faker not respecting that he had no business being around that river.
I have a feeling here that, you know, we've got Ona taking the Mundo, we've got Faker taking the Nivea. They're referencing worlds. G2 are going ham.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Faker play the Worlds, wasn't quite able to get the win. And Owner here forced to burn the ultimate very early. It means you kind of need to respect that you have to back away from this. But as they try to go forward, they know that there's not a huge amount left. Skewmon's able to follow up with Caps as well, on towards Faker, immediately bursts them out. And Pays kind of doing the right thing, just getting the hell out of dodge there.
Yeah, too right. Dashing away on the Zeri. Oh, here we go. Frozen in time is Lebrov stunned up, and that should be one for the side of T1. A bit of a freebie for them as Faker grabs that gold. Pays underneath the tower, and Caps punishes, but also just gives him a chunk of gold.
Yeah, 1 for 1, but the shutdown for Pays are going to be kind of all right with that. So for T1, not looking too shabby, finding these small little picks in these small windows, but Keria.
Okay, 1v1 with Hans Hammer. I'm not sure this is one that Bart can win, and the cease and desist comes through as well. Skewmon is not letting him get away today. Doran arrives in the mid lane to catch this wave, but no way he can do anything versus Hans Hammer here.
Yeah, just kind of taking the magic out of that journey, Skewmon, as he follows him around. And Hans Hammer, a 6-3 with this 4-0 jungler, now gonna have to make magic happen for himself.
X-Tech ultimatum, but Hans Hammer has reinforcements this time. The route onto Doran, the trap will be there to follow it up. Huge damage from Hans as Pace forced away the equalizer. Quite gonna be enough to follow up here. And T1, oh! It's a bit of a doozy.
Not able to get it there for themselves. And G2 continue to get some nice punishing plays as they set up in this mid wave. And shifting pressure towards that top side as well. I think Broken Blade should get another plate on that top half.
It's so hard to play against the Caitlyn that's this far ahead in the game. Hans Hammer just doing so much damage with those Piltover Peacemakers. Caps trying to get some pressure on the bottom side as well. I mean, that tower is really low at this stage, but realistically, Faker at level 8 is going to be able to just keep on using that storm, clearing away the waves. Skewmon starting off the dragon.
Yeah, it should be an easy take for G2. You can look at T1 on the minimap, they just want to reset. Understand they are in a bit of a precarious position. And even when you look at Faker's build, right, going for both of those scaling items, it's going to be a while before this Anivia really comes online. So when you look at G2, they do have this kind of window to play with now of stacking the dragons, nice lead, and looking towards Riptide in 3 minutes time.
Yeah.
G2 looking good coming into game 3.
Absolutely they are. There is a bit of time pressure on them, because as you say, Faker's going to be scaling up. They've also got Ozeri that had a bunch of early gold, so already stacking up that crit down in the bottom side. This late game composition for T1 will look really good. It's just a question of, as you say, can they get to the late game?
Yeah, I mean, but it is T1, right? They're
pretty good at getting to the late
multi-world
game.
champions for a reason. And oftentimes it is kind of what we've seen, the small picks that they can find, the windows of opportunity to move people around the map. And right now, they're reading G2's movement well, trying to cover on the bottom side. Faker still has egg.
Has the passive available of Rolf moving in. Faker down to 300 as G2 have to back away the wall. Not enough as Caps gets that egg, but flashes towards Pace. Pace in the middle of all of them. Mellow gets into the Tempest Fate and LeBron over the wall as well. T1 low on HP. Pace still firing away. Walks away with his life, but Hans Hammer takes him out in the end. T1 are going fairly even though. Faker still alive in this one as Skewmon tries to find more and Oda cuts down another. Double on the Mundo. Oda goes where he pleases. Skewmon gets the shield though, as Oda taken down, and G2 regain control.
This was looking like a business meeting T1 were happy to take, but G2 gonna postpone it and get multiple kills off the back of it. That was dicey for so long there.
Skewmon is quietly carrying this game, 6-0-7 on the bye. He's been everywhere he needs to be. Just narrowly surviving that fight, but narrowly is enough.
I was fully convinced we were about to have just push playing in the background for a second. But it is Owner getting taken down. And now, again, like, that 3k gold lead is a 4.6k gold lead. Is going to start leading in towards these dragons. But we get to see it here, right? Caps goes incredibly deep here onto Faker to initially get the play, but we're back to live.
Oh, here we go. Lebrov caught out. T1 with a crucial pick, actually. Shock's nearly diving into the action herself. I don't know why I'm referencing that. You guys can't see that, but T1 finding a crucial pick for themselves. And it will slow G2 down a little bit, but I don't think it's going to lead to anything.
No, but I think this is, again, what we're kind of talking about. If you're T1, all you want to do is slow the pace of the game down. Every pick takes that extra little couple of seconds or takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails of G2. And if that is continuous, you get 3, you get 4, okay, now Dragon gets a little bit harder to set up for. Doran gets more time to get some plates on the side lane, or Pace can start to farm up. And that's realistically all you need to do here is T1. Try and hit that late game and see if you can carry.
See if they can make it. The feast strength still not completed in this game just yet, but that tower so low. It's really difficult for Caps as an Akali against Anivia to finish that off, though. I don't think he's going to be able to push anytime soon. We're much more down to the mid lane, where we've got our 280 carries pushing, but realistically, the support should be there to defend.
I mean, again, Kerry's been doing a decent job here, roaming around and finding those picks. I mean, he's looking for one more.
Keria flies in, Doran having to dash away again as the redemption comes on through just to top Keria back up.
Yeah, good guy Doran ends up blocking the potential for the Void to get on towards the Bard by using his body, prepping the hook shots, making sure there was no real follow-up there for G2. But Caps does actually get the terror, so there are your feats.
There we go, that's me proven wrong. It's Caps. I suppose you do always have the threat of potentially diving at the end of the day. He's so far ahead in the mid lane, 2,500 gold lead for Caps. 6 stacks on that Medjai's as well, so, or not Medjai's yet. Dark Seal could become a Medjai's though. Keep our eyes on Caps' inventory as this continues. But G2 looking for the Herald here. T1 positioning like they want to fight for this one. Brov caught by the Tempered Fate. I don't know if there's much follow-up available as Skewmon dives in onto Owner instead. Hansama exhausted though, so the damage isn't there, and Skewmon goes down. In the meantime, a Hextech ultimatum on the backline, and Hansama is taken out as well. T1 finding a couple for themselves. Owner low on HP, but at the end of the day, he's Mundo. Maybe he can get back into the action anyway.
And it's also, oh, hang on.
Hang on, Keria chased down, but does find the stun. Broken Blade caught by Owner. The healing coming on through, and Broken Blade gets away with it again. A double kill on the Rumble, and G2 stay ahead.
I was about to say, that actually works out for T1. You get the jungler, you also got Hansama. So, okay, take what you can. But instead, they try to force a little bit more. And it ends up being Owner that falls, and now G2 can actually get back onto the map and look towards that Rift Herald once more.
See if they can grab it for themselves. Let's take another look at quite how that started. He started with a Tempered Fate from T1.
It's Keria that I want you to keep your eyes on, because as this engage comes through, everyone turns onto the Brov. But Keria flashes in, exhausts Hansama immediately, and prevents him from really doing much in this fight, which means T1 can turn onto Skewmon as things kick off. Broken Blade does a great job of getting a lot of damage on towards the back line, alongside Caps preventing the rest of T1 from following up. But Owner here, thinking with Pays and with the help of Faker, they can actually do some work against Broken Blade, but Broken Blade doing a good job of just keeping out of range of Faker, making sure they can't really get any damage down, and BB's able to turn it around.
I mean, the fact that Broken Blade finds that kill onto Pays, probably denying T1 from snowballing anything from that fight there, and it is G2 still with the lead, 4,500. T1 doing a really good job of splitting G2 up in that previous fight, but ultimately, they're still down in gold, they're still down in power on the map right now. It's going to be down to plays like that for T1 to get back into.
Also, I mean, T1 just wants the fights constantly. You're not willing to let anything go this game as Owner steps forward.
Area alongside him here. CC removal, not there as LeBlanc trying to get some damage down. Hansama could be caught here as Doran comes in on the backside, but he's just not got the help. Pays forced away by Caps, and that's a perfect execution and a half! Caps taking 2 out like it's nothing.
The perfect execution into taking the magical journey for another kill to send himself back to the smoke. That was incredible from Caps. G2 looking clean coming into this 20-minute mark.
Double the kills of T1 right now. We're only 18 minutes in, and there is an absurd number of kills on the board. Herald taken as BB's pushing up in that top side. He'll go for a reset. Hansama gonna have the reinforcements of the Herald in the mid lane, and that is all 3 tier 1s taken for G2.
They're gonna take a celebrity drive away as again, for G2, this is insane. You just picked up so much gold. You already have 2 items completed. The potential for a Chemtech Soul in 3.5 minutes. They are looking primed and ready to take down the world champions. Caps.
Caps trying to chase down Keria, but there's Hansama finding the follow-up. Caitlyn playing as a long-range assassin at this point.
I mean, even lets Caps get out with the second half of the R2, so again, G2 finding picks, playing with confidence, and T1 struggling to find much at all, to be honest.
Again, T1, they've got that scaling on their side, but we're a long way away from that really coming into play. With 3 dragons for G2 that Herald already used. Faker, he's out of mana on the bottom side, but Owner's here to help him out in the meantime. And all in the mid lane, Pays gonna be caught up, gonna be stunned up, and gonna be taken down as Hansama basically 1v1's door, and Faker has found a kill on Caps in the meantime.
Yeah, Caps got a little stuck there, but just kind of ice wall and then ran out of anything on his W left. There's a Mundo in the bush, but still G2 finding picks onto Pays. 5 and 8 now. Definitely a welcome from G2 for Pace, as Adakan going to be started.
At the end of the day, even with caps down, still a man advantage for G2. They start this Adakan. Owner moving in. The equalizer actually used just a chunk faker out on arrival. Get a bit of damage on Owner. It's enough. And G2 grab Adakan for themselves.
We've successively not thrown at Adakan. Great things are happening here.
They said it couldn't be done.
Yeah, again, like, you're going to reset here. Look at the items on Hansama. Very close towards his third item. Caps is in a fantastic... Actually, just finishes the rapid fire cannon there. G2 playing well, but yeah, this is unfortunate for Caps. Don't forget, like, he just used his ultimate in the fight beforehand. Now wants to see if he can try and get onto Fake because he has no mana. Was not expecting Owner to show up whatsoever. And Owner more than happy to flash over the wall to help secure the kill.
I think thinking Owner was on the top side for the skirmish that was going on simultaneously. Faker had no mana, so if Owner doesn't show up, Caps is in a great spot there. Alas, Owner did show up. Yeah. So Caps,
his white knight in a white suit, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah.
His purple knight?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
So Caps losing some stacks on the Darksteel, but still on 5. So not doing too shabby for himself there. Has a Shadow Flame as well, so feeling pretty strong. And showing it off in the top side as Doran in a 1v1 Hextech ultimatum. Caps down to half as well, and not a 1v1 for long. Broken Blade shows his face and Doran gets out of dodge.
G2 though, happy to punish and continue to keep up this pressure. T1, you can see what their attempts are. It's just sit somewhere, fish for picks and look for the TP in behind G2 here.
Carrier hunting for a stun, flashes but doesn't find Hansama, and Hansama flashing away from the tempered fate and gets it on the fadeaway. Now the all-in from G2, Skewmon in the middle of everyone. Equalizer finishing the job onto Pays, and Broken Blade diving onto Faker. That egg ain't gonna save you now. The Skewmon looks for more onto Doran. It's going to be an absolute wipe for G2.
Which is better, to be a world champion or in the aftermath be an unofficial world champion? That's what G2 are fighting for here, and they're making sure T1 know as they are now moving towards those space turrets.
Those are the important questions that we are answering today in Munich. G2 and T1 are 1-1 over the last 2 Red Bull League zones. And it's G2's opportunity to take the lead in that matchup. Towers galore across the map here for G2. They have every advantage they could possibly want. To be honest, for now, T1 in a great spot to make something ridiculous happen. The stakes are unbelievably low here today. Now you just get to make a montage.
I was gonna say, that is an incredibly positive way to take the player behind. You know, they are just setting themselves up for what could potentially be the greatest success of their career.
Exactly.
But I mean, I like the idea for T1, right? Look at the pace, but Hansama just styles on Carrier, making sure he gets away from everything. And it's Qmon with the flash forward, sets up for the follow-up. Broken Blade flashing on the Faker here with Pays is dealt with. G2, solid target selection, great mechanical plays, and now control with that Chemtech soul.
I mean, it's the fact that G2, nobody's even below half health at the end of that fight. That's how far ahead in the game they are currently. It's becoming more and more difficult for T1 to contest any of these objectives. Now, Soul in the pocket of G2 as well. And Baron spawning in just over a minute's time. Dagda, I feel like G2 might just have this one in their hands. But as we said before, an opportunity for T1 to give this one over to the montage makers on YouTube, to give them a real treat that we can, you know, I don't know, put some dubstep behind. I don't know what it is these days.
What are the Call of Duty guys doing over there now?
Yeah.
But I mean,
the animals are leaving.
I feel like from T1's perspective, surely you have enough montage moments though, right? Like
surely,
at this stage.
Surely. Yeah, there was a tournament recently,
us,
I think, that had a couple of those. Yeah, I don't think they're that worried about it. They're probably still working on it. There's that much content to work through from Worlds. The crowd here absolutely loving every single moment of this game. We've got chance all day long. It is 48 kills at 24 minutes. We're still at double. We're still at 2 kills per minute.
Yeah. Not a bad way to bring T1 to the main stage. As now Carrier with the ghosts, fishing for Broken Blade.
Tempered Fate, gonna keep him in place. Faker gonna look for the stun off the back of it. Not much damage coming through, to be honest. Broken Blade, pretty tanky, and Carrier is one shot. What was that from BB? And now Pays rooted on up. Cap's going to try and find his way in, but the wall denies his entry. Pays gets over the wall, and Caps can't really follow it up. Perfect execution to try and get over there. LeBron trying to 1v1 Faker. Faker TP's on out, can't quite get the CC down. Faker now able to look towards Hansama, but no! Denied by the brush. In comes Pays, but taken out by Caps in the end.
His last breath is to take down Hansama, but he will still fall at the end of it. Our Baron now in the sights of G2. This may just give them what they need to close out this game.
They've got to be careful, those oven mitts are dangerous. But I think G2 have got this one in the back. Nice little present for them before Christmas. A game as confident as this against our back-to-back world champion.
Yeah, let it be known in the best of 3 and Red Bull League of its own. G2 potentially. No, Carrier, don't do it. Okay, he's gonna. Look, he had this mind. It could happen, but again, like T1, these are the kind of picks they need to work for to see if they can try and get back into the game. But Broken Blade, there is a significant amount of damage that he can put back out as Carrier ends up finding out. And G2 collapsing towards the top side. Feel comfortable to take the fight. Caps looks for Pays, but dashes over the wall. And Faker doesn't quite get interrupted with the TP. LeBron trying to see if he can get that W off, but it's not going to be enough.
Fair effort. Couldn't quite get it in the end. I think people often forget quite how much of Rumble's damage is in his passive. The speed at which he 100-0 Carrier there is absolutely absurd. Pays a fair effort at the end to try and take down a couple more. Gets Hansama, but that's all he's going to get. Pressure faces the T1 players here.
Yeah, KT didn't even do that, you know?
True. What you got to do him like that, Tactor? Oh no, caught out in the jungle. Equalizer coming out. Equalizer feels a little overkill, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that guy was dead.
Yeah, I don't think Oda was having the best of times. And he's still a ways away from getting to that level 16 as Doran tries to see if he can find Caps. But G2, with this Red Bull Baron power play, we're going to start pushing in through this top side. And already that mid lane turret's gone. You don't really have a huge amount left as Caps. How sneaky can you be?
He's invisible. Can he get away with it? The stun comes on through from Faker. There's a bit of damage to follow it up. A couple of dashes from Caps, and he gets back over the wall. Carrier barely surviving himself. The Skewmond is here. LeBron following up with a bit of CC. Carrier solo on HP, but Caps can't really get back in the action. Broken Blade chasing as Skewmond is there to make an egg out of him. Is that a phrase? I think that's a phrase.
There's definitely egg on his face after that one. As the punch through ends up killing Carrier on the back line as well. And it's Hansama. Oh my Jesus! Where'd he go?
Hansama's like, forget your fight, guys. He's just ending the game. The trap under the TP is just one bang Zoran at land. 45-16. What a game here between G2 and T1. T1 jumping onto the stage and being reminded what Europe can bring to the table.
G2 considering the dive, but they do end the game. They ended the game. G2 taking down T1.
The crowd loving every single second of that game. Pure carnage, start to end. That is exactly what we're looking for in this kind of event.